This here is the Genesis GV70 mid-size premium SUV from Hyundai's premium brand. Well, can it be one of the best mid-size SUVs overall? Let's find out. Thomas and Autogefühl, let's go. Once again, a very strong design by Genesis here in the front. This one is the Sport line with black accentuations in the lower part and also a darker frame around the grille. We'll also soon compare the luxury line, and this matte paint here is called Melbourne Grey Matte. So greetings to all our Aussies down under. And the LED lamps, slim integrated here, modern daytime running light. I think design-wise already very well done in the front. And here we have the other color for you, a white vehicle, of course, more color choice available. And this one is also the luxury line. That means more chrome accentuations here, upper and lower part. The length is at 4.72 m or 186 inches, and these here are 19-inch wheels minimum. Maximum goes up to 21-inch wheels. We'll soon check it out with the other car. Once again, a cool styling here for the matte paint. ECS, electronically controlled suspension, is standard, so these are the adaptive dampers. An interesting design clue is right here at the C-pillar, kind of standing upright. More reminds me of a Mercedes GLE, doesn't it? And then we have this separated window here in the rear. And here then the 21-inch wheels, really massive here for that mid-size SUV segment. And in any case, wheel arches painted in vehicle color. The luxury line here in the rear, definitely a sport look and really modern here with the flat integration of the rear lamps. How it looks like down there, yes, we have chrome in the luxury line, but this is also more about which engine do you have. This one here equipped with a diesel, and there is no exhaust pipe whatsoever. Just really the rear one underneath, but I think that brings a really clean design. Design here for the sport line and petrol engine. You can see here this part, is a little bit more accentuated than with this, checkered structure. And then, well, Autogefühl fake exhaust alloy is present right here because the real exhaust on the inside, the outer tips are fake. Well, the air does go through, but still a case for the Autogefühl fake exhaust police. Otherwise, the rear design is really cool, I think. And turning indicators, we know it from Genesis already. They're really, really cool, both hazard lights and turning indicators with this double LED scheme here in the two stripes. That doesn't count for the GV70 in the rear here though, because they are then placed in the lower part. Well, it has a reason. Because when you open that hatch, then they would otherwise disappear. Well, but the German eye discovered this one here, the Spaltmaße, the panel gaps, and look at that here. Not really happy with, how the hood is being bent here in the front, so this is kind of like too big, the gap. And then also, secondary part, what is this here? This overlapping hood here in the front. Not sure why they did that in this exact kind of way. Inside of the doors, here, soft touch. Good look, also contrast stitches, and also nice quality here from the buttons and so on. So this looks all really good, and also how everything is processed, and also the all the panel gaps here on the inside, really superb. Yeah, it's actually a very nice seating position. You have a lot of room around you, and you don't feel like the huge difference to the bigger GV80. So this one here already feels quite sophisticated. I've also driven the G70, the sedan, the sister model to this one here, and I found that the difference G70 to G80 is way larger than here GV70 to GV80. Quite interesting, isn't it? So good seating position, nice fabric seats, breathable. One means a 6.1, enough space left. So far, good. Here the interior overview, you can see a very clean design, especially here then, another red dashboard, and then this 14.5-inch widescreen taken from the G80 or GV80. So this is a major difference also if you compare the sedan brother, the G70 here, to the GV70 SUV, where the sedan gets the smaller screen. And here also some more updates. This area more modern. Looks really cool designers, and I'm really glad they kept the temperature dials here in a manual way. Just the vent strength has to be controlled by the screen, but yeah, I can live with that as long as this one here is still there. So this is kind of like a mix of traditional and modern, I would say. As you remember in the GV80 or in the G80, this one here is completely shallow. You can only do like the DJ, and now they switched it to a real knob here. You can actually like used like this, and this is way more practical, so much easier to cruise through the menu. It was said before that maybe you can mistake then the shifting lever. Here there was shifting, it's not a shifting lever, it's shifting knob with that one, but I think no, because this one is just so much more here and you just use it once or twice, and this one then is also a little bit higher and it feels differently. So I don't think that I would mistake this one for that one. Would you? Cup holders are also adaptive, nicely done. And we have this middle armrest, could be a little bit better attached. Underneath, more space. And the digital instruments have a 3D effect, but you cannot see that on camera just with your own eyes. And then the middle contents can be changed. Then we have a head-up display, useful option. And yeah, these guys are cleaning a Thomas Blue Genesis G70. Check out that review as well. And by the way, another proof of quality, or how these gaps or how these contrast stitches are very well aligned. In the rear there's also this leatherette cover for the rear door here as well. And then there's also an advantage if you compare now the G70 sedan. Here you have more legroom because you sit more upright. This exactly fits then. Also headroom wise, no problem. There's a nice hanger here also for your jackets. However, if you compare it to other SUVs in this segment, it's not the most not the most plentiful legroom here there is, but it's actually okay. Then the back part of the seat can be adjusted more upright or more to the back. Oh, like really like a sleeping position. Goodbye. So that goes really far. There is a huge middle tunnel here, however, so moving in the back here is quite complicated. In the middle part you sit quite upright, also gets close with the knees, so rather 4 tall adults, and the 5th tall adult is maybe like just for short term. Nice rear climate unit here as well, and also 2 USB-A chargers actually. And then in the middle part we have cup holders. They are not adaptive though. The trunk opens here like in the Porsche Macan, and 540 up to 1,680 liters. That's not too much actually, because it's not that high. However, you have an even loading still. The length here of the trunk is 96 centimeters or about 37 inches, and the total height right here 28 inches or 72 centimeters. The width between the wheel arches is very interesting. Is definitely a good meter or 40 inches, and you can see here backpack also fits here. But even more interesting is of course when we take it out completely, and there's something which is created in a very nice solution here, because here in the front, first of all, listen to that carefully. Click. So this one is kind of secured with a click. But when it's open, you can remove the side pads here, and then there's actually really space to store that rear cover. So here we go. Change it now. See, works. And then we can fold the seats from here. That's also quite practical. 1/3, 2/3 split, and indeed folds very directly. And when we then measure the length to the driving seats, it's almost 180 in meters. That means some 70 inches, overall well usable. And one of my favorite features when you approach the vehicle, this functionality was introduced with the previous generation Hyundai Tucson. Here you just wait a little bit, it beeps, and then it automatically opens without you needing to make a foot kick or something. And it's really practical when you have heavy items in your hand, and opens quite fairly wide. I can stand underneath it with one of the A6 or 6.1. And child safety test, let's see. Also proven. And of course beep beep beep. And now to that remote parking function. So even if the car is already closed, you always have to hit the close button again, and then directly after that the right one in the top. Then, you maybe heard it, the car has started. And then let's just imagine it's like in a very tight parking spot. You can move it actually with the key. Okay, there we go. I had to be a little bit closer to the vehicle, and now it's rolling forward. See here, when I'm getting too far away, it automatically stops, so I have to be closer. Come on, here we go. Come on, buddy. Yes, good boy, and not goodbye. Good boy, from good boy to goodbye now. Also works here, reverse by the way. The GV70 gets the more modern engines than the sedan brother, the G70, here with more displacement. So that's an interesting trend. 2.5 liter 4-cylinder turbo engine with 250 or 300 horsepower in this spec, then here 6.1 seconds in the acceleration, or the 3.5 liter V6 and with 380 horsepower and 5.1 seconds, so a second faster, and then there's also a 2.2 liter diesel. Oh, look at that, these firefighters having a great time with their vintage vehicle. Obviously taking some photo. So let's go here, Thomas's driving lounge with the Genesis GV70. This will be very interesting. Why? First of all, first time for me in this vehicle. Then, how is it rating against Mercedes GLC, Audi Q5, BMW X3 for example, and how does it rate against the bigger Genesis GV80 SUV, and also comparing it to the G70 sedan, the platform brother. So actually then 3 different very interesting aspects, and of course overall, how good is it, you know, in this segment. And first I have to say, exterior wise, great styling, interior wise, good build quality, and also the user interface is still somewhat classic in a way that we can easily access a lot of the functions. And now driving wise, yeah, the platform itself feels quite agile and light. There's a big difference, the GV80 definitely. But the thing is that from the interior, you know, from the perceived interior space, it doesn't feel so much smaller. This is a very interesting key finding for me here already. So when I compared really the G70 versus the G80, so mid-size sedan versus their big sedan, huge difference already from the interior, and also driving-wise, huge difference. But here then, the differences GV70 versus GV80 are not that large as you might expect. Yeah, in a way, of course, this one feels more agile than the bigger SUV, and also for an SUV, it feels quite agile. With their big vehicles, Genesis rather goes to a, you know, very comfortable luxury approach here, and with their mid-size vehicle, they definitely feel sportier and more oriented in the sporty directions. Also, if you compare it to the German competitors, so their G80 and GV80 more against Mercedes E-Class and Mercedes GLE, where I feel that this one here is rather against the Q5 or the BMW X3 from, you know, the basic philosophy. Noise insulation here so far, so good. 120 kilometers an hour, so like 70 miles an hour, typical motorway speed. And I don't have to raise my voice that much. It gives me a very comfortable and pleasing experience. Agile driving wise, doesn't shake up too much. So once again, doesn't lean too much into the corners and so on. Feels actually quite sporty. Steering feeling is rather direct. So let's see how natural it feels. Yeah, it could feel a little bit more natural. However, I think it's quite okay. And also I feel in the GV70 a little bit better than in the G70. Maybe they tuned that already. So I do feel quite one with the vehicle already. And I really have to say, this is such a good package they're offering. So exterior wise, they can easily keep up with the Germans. This is of course a matter of preference. Interior wise, the build quality is great. Then they find something, you know, like a compromise of modern things and, you know, still real buttons and things to use. And this is just so much better than like the way Mercedes is going now at the moment. So this one more like in the direction of where BMW has been heading. And this one here also feels so much more sophisticated. The suspension is really good, 19-inch wheels. I would also advise not to go for the 21-inch wheels or the 20-inch wheels. Stick with these one, they will deliver best comfort. So good compromise of comfort and sportiness. And I feel that also the suspension they use here is somehow better than in the bigger models, or if that, you know, reduced weight or something also plays a good role in that. So with the G80 and the GV80, I sometimes had like this push in the back, like when you're going over some uneven parts of the road, like whoa, that was not feeling that sophisticated, definitely. From what we've seen from the interior and also here now driving while, this is the best Genesis model at this moment. No doubt about that. It feels most sophisticated, it feels most modern, yet at the same time they've kept some of the elements. We are happy that they kept them, you know, like the manual climate dials and so on. It feels really spacious on the inside. It's very comfortable here on the German motorway, also long term. Yet at the same time, it's so much more agile than their bigger models. So this model here for the Genesis lineup does it all. It is the best. So they really paid attention to the details with that vehicle, and I just love that. Lane change here, by the way, feels very natural, and once again, I'm really happy with the steering here. I wasn't quite happy with the steering in the G70, but here obviously in the newer model, they worked more on that. Exactly what I told them with the G70 they should still update. Well, there's a facelift now for that, but obviously they, you know, forgot to put more effort in that. Let's also push that drive mode selector here and set to sport mode and also enhanced sound, and yeah, that just sounds more spectacular. And from, you know, like 90 kilometers an hour when we're already at speed, let's accelerate it out. .70 kilometers an hour, yeah, good acceleration, very nicely done. That was very cool. And also here, super silent here at higher speeds, and also very stable. I feel this one is even more silent than the sedan version, which is, you know, not logical because it's the SUV and stands more against the wind. But once again, that proves the thing that this is here, yeah, kind of the most sophisticated Genesis vehicle. Really, no matter what the price is, if you ask me at the moment, which Genesis vehicle would you pick? Overall, from all of them, haven't driven the all-electric one yet, like the G80 all-electric, which is coming. But so far, really have to say, the GV70 it will be. So yes, this hood overlapping and yeah, the infotainment system software can always be better. Most of the time probably you will end up using Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. But it looks at least cool, you know, especially this is my favorite view of the infotainment system with that kind of screensaver mode, so to speak. But I really have to search for anything that is wrong with this vehicle. There's just hardly anything wrong with this vehicle. It drives very well, so well built. I'm really, really impressed. And I have to say, if we consider now Mercedes GLC, Audi Q5 and BMW X3, they are all excellent vehicles, no doubt. Volvo XC60, of course, as well. They are all very, very good. But this one here is definitely among the best premium mid-size vehicles, period. So, thumbs up here for the Genesis team. So it will be very, very interesting if they can succeed on the European market. They are trying to attack the European market right now. They're already popular in the US, and in Europe it's so tough to compete against Audi, BMW, Mercedes in the premium segment. Will it work? If you then think about the pricing, so you can easily live with an entry model of this vehicle and it's already fully packed, almost, you know. There's always something you can pick more, but if you compare it then, you know, to the other offerings on the market, and you pay like 50k euros or something, and you're done. And you can easily save 10,000, 15,000 euros or something to a competitor which is, you know, similarly spec'd. So, and then it's not worse in any aspect or something, you know. So the price performance in the premium segment here is definitely unmatched. If you subscribe to our channel, we will keep you all updated with these developments. And here, now, we either see you at the G70 review, the platform brother as a sedan by Genesis, or what about the bigger Genesis, the GV80, the bigger SUV? Have you seen that already? And also, in the video description, some links to competitors of this one here.